Hey guys, it's Simon with Trade Informed Coaching. Doing the trade review for, let's see, what are we? Thursday, 8/15/2019. It was a good day. We had a maximum favorable excursion on an ES trade of 12 points on a long in ES. And we had a CL trade that gave us a maximum favorable excursion. Let's see, we were 54.80 to 54.30, about 50 ticks, $500 a contract. So one was worth about $600 a contract. One was worth about $500 a contract. So how do we do it? So I don't have a lot of time today, so I'm just going to break it down into a very, very, very narrow setup. So, and then I'm going to talk about the trade I missed. We had another chance at it, and I did not take it correctly. And this is a reminder to tell me of all the important stuff I have to do this afternoon. So, okay, so just really quickly. Number one, we were pushing up this morning. We're pushing back up into yesterday's point of control. So as usual, we just start off with the 5-minute charts and the support resistance in those areas. So the challenge today was really that we were trading inside yesterday's point of control. And as you can see, that can be a really just god-awful choppy place to trade. And today it set the trade up actually quite nicely, but the problem with these areas is you just can't tell when they can get traded straight through, when they're going to reject, and when they're just going to be chop fest. So I'm not a big fan of trading there, and normally I don't trade there. However, I let my discipline slip because I got set up with one of my favorite patterns. And what I did, okay, so you can see the rally off the low this morning. We rolled back down, and what this ended up being was a double pattern, and I could have set it up better, but I didn't. So this ended up being my left shoulder. The head and shoulder takes a lot of work on the day trading time frame. This is on a 9-range chart, right? So this ends up being my left shoulder over here, right? And then this ends up being my head over here, right? And that's all before 8 in the morning. So I don't trade that 7 to 8 a.m. window. And then we finally broke this fractal trend line to the bottom. And then we get our biggest push to the downside with the exception of what's on the low. So you'll notice where the momentum waves are, right? That tells me where I can expect responsive buyers and responsive sellers. I know two things. In order to go lower, I'm going to have to beat this guy. I know this guy's going to act as support. Examples of that here and here. And what do? We break this uptrend line and we get sellers just after the open and they push right down in and it gets absorbed and then we get the biggest push to the upside. I now know two things about this market, right? Number one, this actually wasn't the biggest push. This was the biggest push right here, right? And I know in order to break out, I've got to get above and hold above this guy. And once I get underneath this guy, right? So I'm just going to draw a line. Remember, this is all not like tense. This is like, oh, there's the biggest wave, right? So that biggest wave looks like this, right? So I just draw a line underneath it. Find my little line marker there. Then I go, okay, cool. If I get underneath that, odds are we'll roll lower. We get underneath it. But I also know in order to break up to the upside, I have my biggest waves down here on the bottom, and I'm going to have to break out to the upside. Okay, the deal there is what we're pushing up against is on this big time frame, and I keep 2 time frames up on each product I trade. We are stuck underneath this massive push that we had the other day, and we keep poking our head back up into it. Excuse me, this is the latest one. I apologize. We are stuck underneath this massive push, and we are going absolutely nowhere until they can figure out how to get an impulse move above the bottom of this wave right here. And you can see all night long we've been rejecting off of it, and this is a 30 range chart. The red and pink and purple bars are all algorithms giving me information along with the arrows up and the arrows down. But you can see that we're starting to consolidate tightly, but we're consolidating tightly underneath this wave, right? So I know in order to go higher from a bigger picture standpoint, I've got to get past 55.60 at a minimum. And we can't do that right now. Sure, when we do, we'll trade right up to the top of that wave, which is up near 56, 56.20, and we have a little bit of structure over here to the left. Okay, so that's big picture, right? Little picture is I know when we come back up over here, so this is where I'm interested in trading. I pretty much burned the first half hour of the day, and I go, okay, we finally had of the U.S. session right? So remember what I'm looking at. Right? I don't see any of this stuff off to the left. What I do see, right, is we push down around 8:45, right? We had this attempt at what I call a V-bottom. I like these V-bottoms, right, where they try to push down, and we get the biggest delta push above, right? So I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at this, and I'm going, well, how are they going to treat it? And I know I have a potential head and shoulders, right? This is my left shoulder right here that I'm working off of. These are harder to work on from day trading, and I have multiple ways. Sometimes I'll just short right into it. If it gets a tick above, I close it. You can see we don't get a tick above, so I'll spread that out so you can see it. We don't get a tick above. But then I want a push or some kind of exhaustion, right? So guys in the room, y'all are familiar how we're doing this. I am looking for a potential trap back in, but I want that trap back in to occur somewhere up in this neighborhood of testing this left shoulder over here. So you can see we get up, we finally make this impulse move over here to the upside, right there. Big push, right in, and then you can see right off of that, the algo lights up with that bright red bar, right? So this becomes the biggest push. Can't break the swing high, can't break the left shoulder, right? And now I know, what do I need to do to go lower? Well, I know I probably have a test of this 5460 coming back up, and I've got to trap, actually my key here is trapping back into this guy right over here. You'll see they bounced off of it the first time, they came back, bounced off of it, but now I've got another fractal on top. That gives me a lot of information, right? When I come back up, when I get the speed bar shift down, I short this because this closes me back in, right, to the prior attempt up, okay? And it's coming right off the top of that 5501 left shoulder. And I basically short 5481 against 5501. It's a 20 tick stop. And what am I looking to do? I want to get at least the 5060 retrace off that low, retested, right? So see how I'm following process and following steps on this? And that brings me into 54, 55, 5443. Now I got to tell you, I cheated, right? When we got up here, I was uncertain that we were going to roll. The PA was kind of sluggish and it didn't roll right away. It kind of hung me up here. And I took some risk off at 5471. So that effectively gave me a 5491 against a 5501 entry. When we didn't recover, so I chickened out on my trade. I left half the position on. I took half the position off to lower my risk, right? And then I got a little frustrated, and we pushed all the way back up over here, and I lost focus on the, actually I didn't, I'll take it back. I covered right there into 5436 was my cover right here, right into the 62 retrace is where I covered. I'm sorry, I forgot the sequence. And here's where I really screwed up. So I covered, I had a profitable trade. That's almost 36, that's almost 50 cents a contract, 45 cents. Really good trade, right? But we get the biggest push down there, and I know that usually when we get that biggest push, they're going to come back up, and they're going to give this one more try after that big wave down. And that is where I fumbled, okay? That is where I fumbled. So what they did is they came back up, they pushed one time, and then they make this big push. Notice it doesn't get to the 5501 at all, right? And what it did was we created, so I'm going to erase this, right? See how we created another little head and shoulders here? So I want to show you this. This is the biggest wave down right here, and this is the prior wave. So guys in my room and guys that I coach one-on-one, you know that's a trade set up by itself already. So we break this, right? And I already know that the backside test of this is a good area to short, right? So now I end up with another little head and shoulders, if you look at it. So you've got to know how to draw out price action, right? Attempt above, right? And notice when they attempt above, see how this is the biggest wave right here? First wave. Second wave gets almost no traction. And this shift down right here See how we closed back into the prior? Right over here. We are closed back in. Backside test, that's your 50-60 off your little head and shoulders. This ends up being your left shoulder over here, right? And it's also a 50-60 of that bigger retrace right there. And I did not take that trade. I should have been so all over this trade. I know once I get this print that the retrace against that 5501 is golden. And I got the perfect setup there for, again, it would have cost me 20 cents. But the reward was all the way back down to 54 from effectively a 54.65 entry. Or I could have simply shorted up into the 50-60 on that retrace and just been prepared to scale as it pushes in. See how we never get a point of control behind the 62, right? So given the algo is helping me a little bit, I just got tired at this point and I did not take the short again, and I should have. So I left some money on the table, but long story short, profitable day in ES, profitable day in CL, and that's how we did it. If you'd like to come in the room, I'm going to tell you right now, there's not a, hey, buy this level, hey, sell that level type of trading. I'm waiting for the price action. I'm teaching traders how to read the price action intraday and what we are looking for. It's not always perfect. No trading system, no trading methodology is perfect. But we get a lot of really good wins on the far, hard right edge of trading, and that is what I'm trying to help traders make money with. So anyways, I know it works for me, and I know it's worked for people I've trained in how to trade. So we had a great long in ES today for 12 points. We had a great short in CL, and we were done with most of it, maybe a bit premature, but at 11 a.m. Hope everyone has a great day, and I will see everyone tomorrow. Have a great night, guys. Trade well. You can email me at tradeandperform, TRADENPERFORM @gmail.com if you'd like a 5-day pass to the room. Thanks, and have a good night.